Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got some Bad Company 2 gameplay, and I thought what better time to get back into Bad Company 2, check out Battlefield 3's past right before we get into Battlefield 4. It's always nice to sort of have a look back and see the progression of things, what we've gained, what we've potentially lost, depending on how you look at it. This match here is Rush, and Matimio and I are on the attacker side on Valparaiso. We've got the Blackhawk right in the start, which we bail out of, and then pretty much go on foot from there on. But this map is really important for using attack helicopters and your one APC as best as possible. You'll notice that there's a few maps in Battlefield 3 where you get like one tank or one transport helicopter, and depending on how well you guys use that, that could really be the fate of the round. So you really got to make sure you got your vehicle guys knowing what they're doing and supporting your infantry push as best as possible. Right now I'm trying to stay on the outside of this map here, defend this MCOM. I'm playing the medic class, which in BC2 carries the light machine gun. So instead of having a nice agile assault rifle, you have a heavy hitting LMG. But in Bad Company 2, the LMGs are not quite what they are in Battlefield 3. They're in fact very accurate and powerful weapons that can absolutely demolish infantry at range. The gun that I'm currently using is the PKM light machine gun. This is definitely one of my favorite light machine guns from Bad Company 2. And in Battlefield 3, the PKP Pechneg kind of resembles what this gun is. Well, the Pechneg is just an evolution of the PKM, sort of a more modernized version of this weapon. Now, I did start a new account in BC2, so none of my stuff is unlocked. I'm using pretty much a raw infantry class right now, and I don't have any of my favorite sights for this weapon, so I am using the iron sights. And as you can see here, they are quite restricting. Just the huge body of the gun makes it a little bit difficult to see guys sneaking up on me. I have to rely heavily on the 3D spotting mechanics to maintain my target acquisition. You'll notice that I generally have to shoot at targets for a longer period of time to kill them as compared to Battlefield 3. Guns are a bit more accurate in this game, however they do less damage. For example, the PKM, which I'm using, is a 6-shot kill in close quarters. That's kind of unheard of with a light machine gun. In Battlefield 3, the PKP is a 3-shot kill in close quarters, a 4-shot kill at medium range. Most of the lighter machine guns are at least a 4-shot kill in close quarters. This is a 6-shot kill in close quarters, and at long range a 7-shot kill. But the accuracy of the guns can make it a little bit easier to deal with targets at range. On top of which, you don't have suppression mechanics added to the game, so your bullet accuracy is going to maintain regardless of what situation you're in. Ultimately, the longer time to kill in this game is going to make the individual soldier a little bit less powerful, and you're going to be slightly more reliant on your teammates. As much fun as it is to mow down an entire squad of people in Battlefield 4 if you get the jump on them, it's going to be a little bit trickier to do in Bad Company 2, even if you are an incredible marksman. You're probably going to have to switch to your secondary weapon to get the kills you need. I find it interesting comparing different shooters and their time to kills and how that sort of affects the game flow. And just how powerful the individual is. Bad Company 2 is kind of on the higher side of time to kill. The time that it takes to down your opponent is longer than most games. Battlefield 3, I'd say, is right in the middle with a 4 to 5 shot generally to take down any opponent. Then you have games like Call of Duty, which are one less shot to kill your opponents, and you also have guns that shoot a little bit faster. So in COD, you can run around and really just kill a whole bunch of guys with one magazine. In Battlefield, you can do it, but you have to be a little bit more accurate. In Bad Company 2, you have to be a little bit slower, a little bit more tactical, more reliant on your teammates. You definitely can't run and gun and just kill everybody in the game. Now, using certain perks like C4 and stuff, you can actually rack up quite a few kills at once. It is just going to rely a little bit more on using some of your equipment, your sidearms and perks to really dish out the same kind of damage that you were hoping you could do with your primary weapon. Now, although I probably prefer the Battlefield 3 time to kill damage model versus the Bad Company 2 damage model, there are some perks to the Bad Company 2 side of things. One, snipers become more useful. If all your guns in the game require at least one more shot to down an opponent than you're used to, then all of a sudden a one-shot sniper rifle becomes much more valuable. So the snipers in Bad Company 2 were so much better than they are in Battlefield 3, and that's not just because they had better equipment and better things that they could use, but their actual basic guns themselves were pretty damn powerful, and you could one-shotting guys in Bad Company 2 was a very, very powerful and useful tool. Not to mention the lack of suppression is great for snipers. And the other nice thing about having longer time to kills is it really differentiates weapons that have larger magazines over weapons that have smaller magazines. If you have a 30-round magazine, but it can still kill 4 guys or 5 guys relatively easily, then it doesn't matter that much that you have a smaller magazine. But if it's a long time to kill, then all of a sudden classes using light machine guns, which generally don't have the same rate of fire as assault rifles, can get better benefits because they don't have to reload as quickly and they can take out multiple targets without having to reload. So basically, classes using light machine guns and classes using sniper rifles become much more valuable in longer time to kill games. Sure, there are a lot of other factors that do play into a class value, but time to kill is a really big one, and it's interesting. I just find it really interesting how one more bullet can really sway the balance of classes in a game mode, slow down gameplay, speed up gameplay, take the power of the individual and put it in the team, or take the power of the team and put it in one good individual. It really does make you think a lot about the kind of time and planning that has to go into first-person shooters and trying to figure out how they're going to flow and balance. And so it's just something to kind of look back at other games or compare different games and try and analyze why one plays one way and one plays the other way, and trying to decide what you like also from your shooter. Do you like really fast, crazy, chaotic gunplay? Do you like slightly slower, more tactical gameplay? Do you like that balance? Personally, I think Battlefield 3 has found a great balance. I wish they had the netcode of Bad Company 2. As you can see from this gameplay here, I haven't ever really been shot behind walls or behind cover. I think the netcode's pretty darn solid in this game, and that's something that's always irked me in Battlefield 3, and I think it's irked everybody, is you just have this weird rubber banding netcode. You'll run behind a corner and then you'll still die from bullets that were shot at you. And I don't pretend to know how netcode works, but I can tell you what kind of netcode feels solid to me and what kind of netcode I like. And I gotta say, I like the netcode in Bad Company 2 a hell of a lot better. Now, luckily, as this round was progressing, Matimio and I were doing pretty well. Our team was doing pretty well. We didn't spend too much time at each of the MCOMs, but sometimes when the defending team is doing a great job of defending, they can absolutely destroy all the cover. Bad Company 2 was notorious for probably having more destructibility than any other first-person shooter that I've known in history, at least multiplayer shooter. You can basically destroy everything in this game. All these little villages and little huts and buildings, everything will get destroyed. Every wall, every pillar, every chair in the environment, you can just destroy everything around here. And so when the games go on for longer, if a rush game is taking a long time at certain MCOMs, all of a sudden the attacking team realizes, whoa, we're kind of out of cover here. We're going to have to start switching up our tactics, using more smoke grenades to push down and get into good spots or tactical situations. Again, coming back to Bad Company 2 after having played so much Battlefield 3, there are some interesting nuances that I kind of miss a lot from Bad Company 2, and just realized that balance in BC2 seems to have had a little bit more thought put into it. One, the medic class, aside from using LMGs and not giving them the ultimate assault rifles to kill everything, they also have a longer time between charging up defibrillators, so you can't run into a room and revive 5 guys in like half a second. It's going to take you a little bit longer because you have to recharge those defibs between each revive. On top of that, your revives only give you 50 points. It's kind of nice to see that on the scoreboard, so that the medic classes don't just dominate the scoreboard every round. You get rewarded based on playing your class to the best of its abilities, but rather than counting a revive as the same amount of points as a kill and shooting you up to the top of the scoreboard for just reviving a bunch of down teammates, has always seemed a bit unfair to me in Battlefield 3, and it's nice to kind of see like, oh yeah, I remember Bad Company 2. They put a little bit more thought into some of the point scoring in the round and slowing down some of the revive mechanics, so you couldn't just get an entire team back up in half a second. I know that different teams worked on Bad Company 2 as opposed to Battlefield 3. I'm sure there was some crossover stuff going on, but there are multiple teams at DICE working on multiple games, and I know they've been able to hire on, since the success of Battlefield 3 was so huge, they've been able to hire on a lot more people. So you get a lot of, I would say, probably divergence between the two titles, like Bad Company and Battlefield, the core games, Battlefield 3 and Bad Company 2. I think definitely had some different mindsets when going into them. So we can't expect all the same mechanics and stuff to bleed through, but on the same hand, it is DICE, and it would be nice to see them sort of bring some of the better appreciated aspects of each game through to the other titles, like maintaining that level of destructibility from Bad Company 2 and some of the great class balance from Bad Company 2, but bringing all the awesome graphics from Battlefield 3, some of the visualizations with the destructions from BF3, and just combining, the best of all the games. It's nice to go forward and bring some cool new things into the new game, but don't forget about all the awesome achievements you made with the old games. Make sure to bring those into the new ones. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of the Bad Company 2 gameplay. Let me know if you want to see more BC2 stuff. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.